ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Curt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Come on, St. Louis hockey fans, stand up and cheer. The Blues are back strong. This is our year. It's the Blues' turn now.
So I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, it's the Blues' turn now. With that Al McKinnon slap shot, you know we can't lose. We are St. Louis, the home of the Blues. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis.
Let's do that hockey.
Come on, St. Louis. All over the hockey universe, the note is the news. Everybody's digging on the St. Louis.
Welcome to Season 7, Episode 165, all-time, Episode 32 of Season 7 of Let's Go Blues Radio, the first, the original, and dare I say the best, fan-created St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast. We're live on Wednesday, January 24th, 2019. This is, what I say, 165 all-time, right?
Yeah. We've been doing this way too long.
I know, 165. 165 quality episodes. I'm your host. Give or take. 3,000-4,000. I'm your host, Curt Price. Bill Day is with me in studio this evening. Jeff Ponder is on assignment and will not be joining us this evening. To interact with us or the show on social media, follow us on Twitter at LGB Radio. My handle is at Curt Price. Bill's is at Billy Blue Note, and Jeff's is at JPonder94. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and the website is letsgoblues.com. If we have a few minutes, we're going to open the show up for listeners later. So stay tuned for that if we do it. Announcements, please check out the letsgoblues.com shop and consider buying a reasonably priced shirt, mug, or sticker. All proceeds do go back into the show. And we do have the Chris Pronger Retire 44 shirt. And it's contest time. We announced a contest. Our first contest.
Our
first
contest outside of the trivia giveaway and laser engraved.
Right. Outside of those, outside of the trivia contest we did last season, and
2 seasons,
3 seasons. Yeah, we did. That was fun. We no longer do that though. But now we're giving away a Tarasenko Funko Pop figure, which for those watching on the YouTube show, I can hold it up. It's kind of far from the camera, but there it is. You all know what it looks like. Tarasenko Pop figure. And then we're also giving away a from our shop, the Retire 44 shirt, the Chris Pronger shirt. So
we're doing that on this show. Is that right? Or when
we're gonna announce the winner on Saturday during the All-Star game. But to enter the contest, you just go to our Twitter account at LGB Radio. And we sent a tweet out with the instructions how to do that. And you need to like that tweet, retweet it, and then follow the show. Once you do those 3 things, then you'll be entered, and we will pick a random winner at some point during the All-Star game on Saturday. We'll announce it, and then we'll contact the winner to get a shirt size. So, Jeff Ponder says in the YouTube chat, "My goodness, just stumbled upon this show. It's phenomenal. You should be working. Get back to work."
Yeah, I'm calling your boss. Is Salvador on Twitter?
Maybe he is. The official beer, actually just one.
Official beer.
The official beer.
You're deferring to me tonight.
I'm deferring to you because I have. I'll get my non-beer out of the way though. Mine's a cranberry juice.
Vodka.
Ocean spray. No vodka.
Hold the vodka.
Yeah, right. It's the Shirley Temple of vodka cranberries. It is the Ocean Spray cranberry juice, 100%, because I am on cough medicine, so I will not be drinking beer this evening. Bill, what do you got?
I got Oskar Blues Barrel Aged 1050 Imperial Stout. Never had 1050. 1050 is a very, very good Imperial Stout on its own. I mean, it pours like motor oil, and I love I love an Imperial Stout that pours like motor oil. Very, very tasty, but barrel age it and put it in a stovepipe. It's beautiful. This is very good. I'm still working on my tweet, but basically, I figured halfway point of the season, it's a good time to get something out of the cellar collection. I've had this for about a year. And I got a newer version of it that I can sit on now at home and have that later. Plus Oskar Blues.
Right.
And we can celebrate the Blues as Oscar.
How did I not like put that together right away?
Yeah, I know. So spelled the same way even.
Yeah.
So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Even more
Oskar
appropriate.
Sundqvist, the surprise of the season.
I like it when the beer has the legs down the side of the glass there. It's got the
lacy
lacy foam. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very good. I should have kept in mind that this is kind of an abbreviated show because it's pretty heavy.
You may have to finish it on the way home.
Yeah. Troy Police won't mind.
No. It's today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues History Twitter account, one of the best follows on in Blues Twitter you could possibly follow. 1987, January 24th, 1987, with one punch, Todd the Animal Ewan did what most couldn't do. He knocked out Bob Probert. This was the first of their two fights the night of January 24th, 1987. 173 minutes combined in penalties between the St. Louis Blues and Detroit Red Wings. The Blues had 7 majors, the Wings had 9, and he has a nice video of the scrap, which was very short. Ewan caught him with one early and right in the jaw, and you just don't see it.
Yeah.
Probert went down. I had never seen that actually. Yeah. Never seen that fight with Probert. He just got one punch, two punch, boom, down. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we should point out, very sad that both of them are no longer with us.
Right.
And both suffer from CTE. So
yep.
So it's that double-edged sword of enjoyment of a good hockey fight, knowing that, that kind of was part of the problem. But it was definitely one for the ages. I remember to see Probert going down.
Yeah, Todd Ewan, Todd the Animal was my earlier days of being a Blues fan. That was I don't know, first few years I was that was one of my players I remember like, oh wow, Todd the Animal Ewan, that's cool. He's got a cool nickname.
And he's got a mullet.
I'm like 10 years old or something. So yeah. January 24th, 2012, Patrick Berglund scored on a penalty shot versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, and exactly 1 year later, Patrick Berglund scored on a penalty shot versus the Nashville Predators. That was kind of a weird anomaly.
Yeah.
And they said that was the only time that's happened, penalty shots a year apart, same date or something like that. I remember the time.
It seems very Black Cat.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, full moon kind of thing.
It's like a stupid, random, meaningless stat that first time ever that someone scored a penalty shot exactly a year apart. Who cares? It's weird.
Yeah. But we get to mention Patrick Berglund.
Yeah, for the last time. That will be it. Because he's, I think, didn't he just come out and say that he's not playing hockey anywhere at all the rest of this year? He's not going to play in Europe anywhere.
Yeah, no, he's he went to a dark place, and ultimately, I mean, I think it's terrible for it sucks for the people of Buffalo because that trade just got that much worse. But great for him to recognize he's got an issue to deal with and step away.
You know what though? I heard a number of people say this out of Buffalo, and a number of Blues fans kind of echoed that sentiment, was that when Berglund left, it allowed them to just terminate his contract.
Yeah.
So that was it kind of, I mean, it did benefit them in a way that, he was getting overpaid for what he was producing. So in my opinion, anyway.
In my humble,
I know. I'm not. I know. Bill's a bigger Berglund fan than I am. So, the we played a hockey game on Monday versus the Kings, a game that I thought I wouldn't call it a must win, but it was a game the Blues needed to win,
Yeah.
and they did not.
They played poorly.
They played well. You know what? They played poorly at times, and LA burned them when the Blues played poorly. I think the Blues played. If you take away the goals, the goal scoring chances, I thought the Blues played pretty well. Which is kind of, it sounds like a stupid thing to say, but aside from the miscues that ended up in the back of the Blues net, I think the Blues played okay. But Edmondson was scratched again in this game, which is a weird. We haven't talked about this, about the Edmondson being scratched 3 times in 10 games.
Yeah.
And I don't fully understand it. I know JR did a write-up in The Athletic about it. A bunch of advanced stats and really in-depth breakdown on Edmondson's play versus the rest of the defensemen and who should be sitting or who should be made an example of. And he wasn't quite sure why Edmondson was sitting over some others. That if you're going to sit somebody, and I kind of agree with that. I'm not, but unless you have a take on.
I mean, I haven't read the article, but
it's a thinker,
right? And I appreciate that JR is able to do that kind of work now for The Athletic. I've really enjoyed his content this year. And on the subject of Edmondson being the guy that's being scratched, I mean, to me, they've scratched players, but it's not been necessarily the older guys, the core guys. They're trying to make an example of the young guys that are, that I think most of us consider vital to the team.
Which is why it was a big deal when Bouwmeester was scratched, healthy scratched.
Right.
That was like jaw-dropping. Holy shit, they finally did it.
Yeah. But, I'm glad to see that there's some kind of accountability. But, going back to they scratch Perron after he has one bad game, takes a bad penalty that costs the team. Steen does the same fucking thing the next game, and he doesn't sit. Unless they're going to do it across the board, I don't know.
Yeah, well, they're not going to sit Pietrangelo. They're not going to bench healthy scratch Steen. Would you healthy scratch your captain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would.
Then he really shouldn't be your captain.
Maybe.
That's a whole different story.
It is. But no, I think part of the problem with this team has been accountability. And if you're going to scratch people, to call out accountability and to try to usher in an era of accountability, it applies to everybody on the fucking team, not just people with no trade or without no trade clauses. It's got to be everybody.
You want to cause a lot of problem in the locker room? Do this. Healthy scratch Pietrangelo, and then assign Steen as captain for that next game.
that
would be, because that's the whole deal. That's the whole heavily rumored thing with Steen, Pietrangelo, butting heads, and
right.
Steen's
pissed off that he didn't get it. Oh, by the way, what jersey am I wearing?
You're wearing
Steen.
I can't see a number. Is it Steen's? Okay,
it's Steen.
Okay. I just
picked it up. Not that I'm Team Steen over Team Pietrangelo. I think that whole thing should just fucking go away.
I know. I mean, from what you hear from people who are close to the situation, I think was it Maroon's brother, or said something about the locker room being toxic, and I mean, and that stems from the whole, and it stems from Steen and Pietrangelo, which for a while I blew off as like, who gives a shit? I mean, nobody. You don't have to like each other on the team. I mean, I'm sure every team in the league has players on the team that don't like each other, and it shouldn't cause a problem on the ice. Because I mean, we've played hockey with people that we couldn't stand, but when you're out on the rink, you play hockey.
Right,
you play hockey.
Ways to forget about that.
Well, I mean, and I can, and certainly, I mean, if we're doing it in pick up in men's leagues and all this crap, surely it shouldn't be a big deal for guys getting paid to play. I mean, it's their livelihood. I mean, put it aside and play hockey, right? That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
It should be much easier for them to not hold a personal grudge against something because of something else and take it onto the ice. It should be much easier to put it aside. It's your job.
At the end of the day, they are professionals, and if you can't put it aside and go to work, then maybe you shouldn't be part of the leadership corps.
So the game against LA, the Blues jump out 2-0, thinking, okay,
looking good.
But the beginning to end of this game was the awful turnover by Barbashev, the bad pass from behind his own net. Less than a minute to go in the period. If that turnover doesn't happen, we likely go in the second period up 2-0, and maybe it's a different story. But late goals in a period, always a killer. It was terrible, and you know what? And there was you knew it was going to happen because Bennington's out challenging the shooter, and he passes to Foley. Was it at the side of the net? Yeah,
wide open.
Yeah, wide open, and it's a tap in, and people did. I saw a couple of screenshots posted on Twitter that what's Bennington doing? He's so far out of the net. I'm like, okay, whatever.
He's challenging.
He's challenging the shooter like he's supposed to do. And there was a guy. Now
it was a very, very nice pass.
It was a nice pass. And here's the thing too: is that when the pass comes, when you're passing, you're bringing the puck out of your zone. Everyone's going the other way. Eyes are up the ice. Skaters are skating up the ice. If there's a turnover, all of a sudden everybody slams on the brakes and turns around. There's all kinds of passing lanes open. People are behind the play still. Toffoli was. There's all kinds of shit going on. Guys don't have a man. That's why turnovers coming out of your zone are so terrible, because play comes right back to the way, and there's all kinds of shit open. So, and that's what happened there. And then so Bennington comes out the challenge. I forgot who assisted. It fakes a shot and passes, and it's a wide open net. And there's a handful of folks that are going to blame Bennington for every goal because they're Team Allen, but it's just that's kind of
Leipzig.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a great pass. And then on the last goal of the game where bad coverage by Pietrangelo in the own zone, Ledoux walks down. Guy named Ledoux.
Ledoux. Right.
Spelled that way too.
I know.
It comes down a perfect shot, but Leipzig had two extraordinary passes on those two goals. Thought he had a really good game. But yeah, on that first one, the turnover cannot happen.
Oh no, I mean, and it's one of those things where the turnover happens, and at that point, the Blues are scrambling, and LA takes advantage of it quickly. So the only person to blame on that play is Barbashev. You can't really blame anybody else because everybody else is scrambling, and you can't blame. My God, you can't blame Bennington on that goal. My Jesus Christ,
no,
stupid people. So and then penalty trouble in the second period. 5 on, just too many penalties. 5-on-3.
Kyra's in the box, and the Blues get that break going the other way, and at the end of it, Robert Bortuzzo high sticks Drew Doughty 4-minute double minor.
Yeah,
Robert Bortuzzo a high sticking minor at the other team's goal, double minor.
Yeah, right. And Doughty ends up
hammering
home on a screen. 5-on-3.
Yep.
I don't think Bennington saw it. So I mean, it's just. You're asking for trouble. 5-on-3. Everybody knows it. And actually, let's see, Petrangelo's. I got notes here for. Was it the one? The goal that put LA up 3-2. Late in the yeah. Pietrangelo misplayed the puck at center, which I didn't really catch at first, but when I watched the replay, I'm like, oh yeah, he just misplayed the puck at center and then turned it over. Because the pass came to him. And he one-handed it, went off his stick. It was right to him, went off his stick. He didn't play it right. And then turns it over. And Gunnarsson was back on the 2-on-1, played it terribly. He didn't take the pass. I mean, he tried to take the pass, but didn't take anything away, and they passed it right through him, and backdoor tap in basically on a 2-on-1. So not good play by the defensive duo there on that goal.
No, Pietrangelo again, terrible game. I thought he was just out of position, turned pucks over, slumped his head, slumped his shoulders, didn't get back.
It's kind of broken record far too often.
Yeah. Which is why I say we could use him getting scratched every now and then.
In the Blues defense and Pietrangelo's defense, that Carter blew up Pietrangelo interference early on that shift. Yeah. No call.
Yeah.
Just laid him out, and there was no call. That should have been a penalty, to be honest. But with that said, if that affects Pietrangelo and throws him off the rest of the shift, I'm not saying that.
Take a seat and reset yourself.
I'm not saying that. And he didn't look hurt on the play. He got up, he was bitchy. He was yelling at Carter. But I'm saying that really that the whole play shouldn't have happened because of it should have been a penalty. But
yeah,
whatever. Ray in the YouTube chat says, right on, Gunnarsson not taking the pass lane away. That's his job on that play. Everybody, defense 1-on-1, 2-on-1, defenseman take the pass.
Yep, goalie takes the shooter, defenseman takes the pass.
Yeah, try and stay in the middle. Try not to give the shooter an easy lane right to the goal. Try and keep him. Stay in the middle of the ice, basically. Middle of the ice, take the pass away, and he didn't do it. I'm not a huge fan of a defenseman laying down, but in that situation, Gunnarsson's got no other option. He's got to lay down. He's like squatting. He's awkward. They passed right through him. O'Reilly ties it up in the third period on a sneaky, quick wrist shot. Beautiful little play.
God, absolutely. Steps off the wall, and just it seemed like it's one of those things where he was directly above the face-off dot, and he recognized where he was and just picked that corner.
Yep.
Absolutely perfect shot. And I mean, how often do you see Jonathan Quick beat on a play like that? It was perfectly timed.
Well, he disguised it very well. I mean, he didn't lay into it.
Mm-hmm.
He just he was looking one way and just shot.
Yeah.
There was no wind up. There was no bear down. There was just, he just let it go. It was all wrist.
Right. And unfortunately, because Darren Pang's doing the NBCSN broadcast for this Monday afternoon matinee, we had to hear about how his stick looks like it was broken
under a door. Yeah, I heard that too.
So sick of that. Love you, Panger, but God, so sick of that.
So with just over 10 minutes to go in the third, LA goes back on top on a shot that you mentioned before, Paul Ledieu. That deflected off Steen's pants as he went down to block it, who I think Steen was covering for Pietrangelo in that play, because I looked at the replay and Pietrangelo was kind of caught he was defending nobody on that play. He was kind of caught in no man's land because the forward had the guy going wide. Or no, was it Gunnarsson, I guess, had the guy going wide, and
it was Parayko
had the guy going wide,
yeah.
And then Pietrangelo was at the side of the net where he wasn't doing anything.
Right.
And I'm like, he should be in the slot or in front of the goal. And he wasn't. And then the pass goes through him over to Ledoux, and then Steen was skating back and tried to slide and block the shot. And he got a piece of it, but actually not enough or too much, whatever, either one. But it goes nicely placed over Bennington.
Yeah, I mean, what they said that Ledoux is like, first game and since December, and he steps in and picks a corner like he's a 5-year veteran.
Right.
I mean, it was a great shot, great pass again by Leipzig.
He picked a corner with the help of Steen's pants.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Okay. So he shot it off Steen on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotcha. All right. There are some people that would think that.
Some people.
Like I said, the Blues, I mean, aside from their mistakes that, unfortunately, the Blues mistakes ended up in their net. they had the better of the play for a chunk of the game. I thought they deserved a little bit better, and they almost. I mean, they were tied in the third. You know, they had a 2-0 lead, and they were tied in the third. But it was the awful result against a team you really needed to beat. That team, you just can't lose this game. It was the 6th time this season the Blues have blown a 2-goal lead and lost. That's bad.
That is bad.
The most dangerous lead in hockey. The last 2 times that happened had come with Edmonton being a healthy scratch.
Is that saying something?
I'm just saying. I'm just telling it like it is. You do with that information as you will.
Are there some kind of special stats that might back up that Edmonton should probably be in the lineup?
There are advanced stats. There are all kinds of things that Mr. Rutherford wrote up nicely at The Athletic. So, and then we had the game, last night's game versus Anaheim. After the disappointing 4-3 loss to LA, the Blues were in Anaheim on Wednesday night. Edmondson was back in lineup. Bennington got the start again. Were you surprised that Bennington started this game? I was too.
I honestly was.
Yeah.
When I turned on the game and saw that he was in, I was happy. Happy surprised.
Yeah, I think with the way Allen's played on the road this season, I'm not disappointed to see him in net. But I think because for whatever reason he's played pretty well on the road, so I'm okay with it. I'd rather see Bennington. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather see Bennington, on any given night overall. Right. But I think I would not be disappointed with seeing Allen in it. I wouldn't be surprised unless Bennington just shits the bed for a while here. I'd be shocked if Allen starts a home game the rest of the season.
Absolutely not. Yeah. And I think the kind of, maybe it's just me reading stuff into it, but the key to this is that they give Bennington the last game before the All-Star break. Previous years, Jake Allen gets that start.
Yeah, well, especially when Bennington had the game before,
right,
against LA
and lost,
right, and 4 goals.
You're totally justified in saying, and I think it's a great move. I think that, one, it tells Jake Allen you're not guaranteed anything here, and the other, it gives Jordan Bennington the, hey, we believe in you, keep going.
Well, and the thing too is that, and I said 4 goals on Bennington. I wouldn't really say anywhere was fault. The 2 of the goals were backdoor passes for tap ins. One was a screen on the 5-on-3 power play, and the other one off Steen's pants and in. So I mean, those are 4 rough goals to pin on him, any of them. So yeah, I was shocked, but then happy that he started. So that was good, and then it was good to see him get the win. But we won this one 5-1. Anaheim looked terrible.
Oh, God.
I thought
God, their defense was just completely disorganized.
That was the worst effort against the Blues I've seen this season. That was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean the Blues have played worse teams, but Anaheim played the worst. I was shocked at how bad they played.
How many odd man rushes do we have? 6 or 7?
Oh my God. It was
just usually the play that gets the Blues in trouble. Somebody gets the puck up to just below the blue line in the offense or in the defensive zone, and we can't get the puck out. Anaheim was seeding that with a bad defensive pinch, and we were getting 2-on-1s going the other way all fucking night.
Zero real pressure, 0 intensity from Anaheim. Pathetic effort. The Blues outshot them 8-0 off the bat the first 6 minutes, and then, of course, Anaheim scores on the first shot of the game, which
strong.
Yeah. So, that was frustrating, but it wasn't, it wasn't really, I wouldn't say it was poor D on the Blues part. It was actually like a slow wholesale forward change, because when the puck came out of the zone, 3 forwards went to change, and the Ducks brought it right back in, so that they had numbers coming back into the zone, and they basically had a 2-on-1, and Sprong just picked a corner on Bennington. So Getzlaff really kind of made a play to open it up.
Yeah, and Sprong
drop pass. Yeah,
drop pass. Sprong looks like he's going to pass the whole way coming down the slot, and just does the right thing and shoots.
Oh, it was a great shot too. And the thing with Getzlaff, when he dropped the puck to Sprong, Bomeister had taken Getzlaf. So, and he took him out on the boards. So that leaves the Blues 1D back. But,
Parayko.
well, here's the thing, though, is that Bomeister, if you watch the replay, Bomeister is like this, like a foot away from getting back and poke checking while the shot's being taken. The reason why he didn't get back there and make that play, Getzlaf held him. Getzlaf held his stick. Bomeister checks Getzlaf on the boards and then goes to peel back into the play to get back into the play. And Getzlaf holds his stick for like a second and a half.
Are you trying to tell me that one of the Anaheim Ducks leaders had a dirty play?
I am saying that. He pulled a Jamie Benn.
Jamie Benn?
Jamie Benn was a dirty player,
Yeah,
and
well,
it doesn't have to be.
Corey Perry
is
such.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, he's a notorious dirty player, but his is more physical play.
I wouldn't even call the holding the stick dirty. It was just a
subtle.
It was more
akin
games. It
to a
was more
pick.
gamesmanship
Right.
than
Right.
dirty. It wasn't dirty. It was just a play that probably technically should have been a penalty. Come on, ticky tack, but
Right.
but anyway, that's
A
and
smart veteran.
I
play,
think
if you will.
that may have been why Bomeister didn't quite get back to make a play on Sprung. So
you just wanted to say Sprung.
I did.
Again.
But yes, that's what bothered me on the play that I didn't hear anybody else talk about. So I wanted to bring that up. But yeah, and then some people were calling that a soft goal on Bennington, which was just ridiculous. I don't.
No.
I mean, he's not back in his net. He's challenged in the top of the crease, and he gets picked. It's just a corner shot. It's a beautiful shot.
Just because you go up a goal in your first shot, it doesn't mean it's soft.
I know yeah. Oh, he's allowed 1 goal on 2 shots or 1 goal on 1 shot. God, he sucks. Okay.
It's
Jesus
the
Christ.
Jake Allen defenders coming out of the woodworks to say,
Isn't that funny?
Jake would have made that save.
Well,
No,
no,
he probably
no.
would
You know what
not
they say? They say if Jake Allen were in net, you guys would be all over him for that one.
But you're right.
But like, no, you know what? I've said this the whole damn time. Every goal is on a case by case basis. I don't give a shit if it's 1 goal on 2 shots, whatever. If it's a fantastic goal that the goalie is not making the save on, or it's a great shot, great play to beat the goalie, that's fine. It's not a soft goal just because of the number of shots or whatever. Now, over the course of a season, if your save percentage is like 8.8 or 8.9 or 900, it's just that's more of a telltale sign than 1 goal
Less
in
than
1 game.
2% maybe.
Right. Less than 900.
But we digress.
You get that all the time. I mean, the people that are defend Allen to the death, man, they are all over every goal that goes in on Bennington. It's just annoying. It's pathetic.
But in this game, he did not give up another goal.
No, right.
Not that he had that. To be honest, to be fair, you're not a Letterkenny guy, are you?
I have seen it. I don't watch it intently.
You should have responded. To be fair,
I want that's on my list of things to start watching.
it is hilarious.
I've seen clips.
Yes, it is awesome. Anyway, to be fair,
Pays attentions to the buttsholes.
Squirrely Dad. To be fair, Anaheim only had 13 shots all game.
Right.
They were terrible. Like not just defensively, as we have talked about previously. They just weren't good. No Corey Perry. I think they were minus Ricard Raquel. Definitely no Ryan Kessler. It was probably the most enjoyable game that the Blues have had against the Ducks because we haven't had to deal with Kessler or Perry.
That's true. Jake On's Mask says in the YouTube chat, hey guys, thoughts on a defensive rotation on who sits out? Either 3 or 4 guys rotating.
Bortuzzo.
Oh yeah, no, I'd sit Bortuzzo or Gunnarsson. Although Gunnarsson, I was gonna say that I was off the top of my head I said Gunnarsson, but then no, because he's been
Goals.
He's been good and he's been chipping in.
He's been positionally very sound.
And I think actually the advanced stats actually favor him nicely. So
Bortuzzo taking a penalty 450 feet away. What's a rink? 200 feet away from his own
220.
goal. It was terrible.
Yeah, no, I think I don't know. I don't understand. I don't like Edmondson sitting. When I saw him being sat a few times, I was glad to see JR do that write up in The Athletic. A very detailed advanced stats breakdown of the Blues defenseman and why Edmondson's sitting and why as opposed to others, and the consensus of the article was he's not sure why Edmondson's sitting over some others because he probably shouldn't be.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that that what he wrote kind of backed up what I was thinking. That's what? Why is he sitting? But I would never. I mean, unless, yeah, sitting him once is one thing. 3 times in 10 games, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's a coach taking umbrage with a player.
Yeah, it's almost like there's something else there besides
right. Exactly.
Which you would never hear about, but until he gets traded, and then you hear about it after the fact.
Oh God, that happens. Fuck me.
See, Ray asked, "Did you guys see Getzlaf post-game interview? He was heated. I did not. I assume he was heated about them losing so bad and playing so shitty.
Well,
I mean, he can't be. He couldn't have been heated about a particular call, or because that would have made a difference.
Right. I did not. I quite honestly, I was done with that game. And yeah, I fell asleep after the second period because I'm old and I work.
After the Ducks got their first one, the Blues scored 5 unanswered.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Tarasenko scored a few minutes after Sprong in the first. Sanford and Sundqvist scored in the second. Bozak and Blay scored in the third. I mean,
so
you can't.
Are we on board for this whole Sanford and Son?
Why not? You got a problem with it?
I don't know.
Do you think the whole Sanford and Son thing should have went away with Curtis Sanford?
Probably. I don't know.
If you're not gonna, if the Blues aren't gonna play the Sanford and Son theme song when Curtis Sanford was in net, then
they better not.
They're never gonna. Yeah, they can't play.
But to be fair, at this point, that game, Sanford and Sundqvist are on the line. You put it together, Sanford and Son.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no problem.
I don't know. Maybe nowadays the Blues do have the in-game entertainment staff that will play the theme song. But when's our next home game? Like February 15th?
2020?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we can rely on the Blues in-game entertainment staff to do anything that would be remotely interesting or fun. No. Yeah,
like
so
Patrico follows us, so careful.
Oh, no, I mean, you know, I actually do. I actually just thought the other day, I'm going to start watching the Rizzo show. I'm going to start watching the Rizzo show. I'm going to start watching it. I never listened to it. I never listened to the show.
I was going to say you watch the
Well,
radio?
they do. Don't they stream it too on the web?
I don't know. I stopped watching the radio in 2000 or stopped listening to the radio in like 2005.
See, I mean, I don't know.
The advent of the iPod.
So the Blues outshot the Ducks 32-13, which is ridiculous. Only one power play in the game. The Ducks had it. The 18th time in franchise history, a Blues opponent didn't get penalized in a game.
Yeah, Tyler Bozak high sticking in the third period.
Yeah, and it came like right after the fact that they had stated that the no penalties this game. 10 seconds later, penalty. So Bennington's numbers at the All-Star break. He's 5-1-1 with a 1.84 GAA and a 924 save percentage. And them's fancy numbers.
Sounds like a starter to me.
You know what? You can't argue. Allen's numbers at the break: 15-15-4, 304 GAA, and an 897 save percentage. And that's with improved play over his past like 12, 13 games, whatever it is. So, So that's that. So where we stand right now, the Blues, 3 pounds, 3 pounds, 3 points out of the last wild card spot with a game in hand. Of the 2 current wild card teams and the teams above the Blues in the wild card chase, out of all those teams, so the teams the Blues are chasing, including the 2 wild card teams, the Blues have according to Corsica Hockey, the Blues have the best odds at making the playoffs. They have them at 57 point, was it 2%?
57.5%.
57.5%. Better than all the teams ahead of them through the top 2 wild card spots.
That's some insanity. If you think about how bad this season started.
Yeah. And granted, we have work to do. I mean, you have to climb over some teams.
Right.
And you got to take advantage of the games in hand. And
which we have not proved good at.
No, and play good hockey. But I do want to say that I won't say I was laughed at, but I was challenged about when I said the Blues would not finish last overall. I said that's ridiculous to think the Blues would finish last overall because they're a much better team than that. And I was kind of challenged on that by some folks. So, and now it's funny to see these numbers. Like, well, there's according to the fancy stats sites, they've got the Blues at 57.5 to make the playoffs. I'd like to see the odds for the Blues to finish last. Probably, I don't know what it would be.
Yeah,
not that much.
Right, can't be good.
No, it can't be good.
Can't be good because Ottawa exists.
Right. So so whatever. I mean, God forbid people use stats and logic, right?
Nope. All we know is this season started off shitty.
It did, and to be fair,
lived up to our.
To be fair, I mean,
to be fair,
I've been saying this, and it's not. It shouldn't be a secret. I mean, if you watch the games, it's easy to see. The Blues they've played better. I mean, they still have their issues and they have ups and downs, but they're trending overall much better. If you look at charts and graphs, I mean, if you need numbers to back this up, just from watching games, you might not maybe get it or understand it. But any chart you see with expected goals for and goals for percentage and goals against percent, all this stuff, all these fancy stats, and based on how well the Blues play, they're trending upward, and they've been one of the better teams over the past month and a half.
Right. It's the polar opposite of last year. It's the reverse negative. They're so good so early, and you get to January, well, you get to December and Schwartz gets injured and they fall apart. This team is the opposite. They're trending in the right direction at the right time. And as long as they can keep the momentum, I mean, I think it's terrible. Like the All-Star break timing is awful for the team.
It's not, and it's not like,
but it's there for them to take.
It's not, and I agree. It's not like the Blues are tearing it up either. I'm not gonna go out and say they're whooping everybody they play. They're playing fantastic hockey. They're playing much better than they were playing awful. The start of the season they were terrible. But they have gotten a lot better. They're getting good goaltending. They're keeping the puck out of the net. They're playing more responsible in their own end for the most part. Granted, the game against LA, the breakdowns were bad. That has not been the norm lately. That was an anomaly lately. So I think, and we talked about this before off the air before the show started, that you mentioned that people are a hard time getting out of the mindset of how bad they were early in the season.
Right.
And I agree with that.
I mean, this is the dangerous time for being a Blues fan because it's like spring. Hope has come back into the picture.
Right.
And hope is the worst fucking thing as a Blues fan.
It depends what you hope for. What are you hoping for? I mean, are you hoping for some playoff fun, or are you hoping for a cup? I mean, if you're hoping for a cup, you're probably going to be let down. But if you're hoping to get in the playoffs and have some fun with some playoff games and get excited about a round, maybe two, then that's what you're hoping for.
You're hoping for a competitive stretch run, some intrigue at the trade deadline, which happens to be my birthday this year.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, so I will spend the first part of it on the couch watching terrible TSN coverage of nothing happening.
Jake Allen's Mask tweeted. Mentioned in the YouTube chat. In your opinion, should Schwartz move down to the third line and be put on the PK and not on the PP?
No. He is so close to scoring a fucking goal. I mean, it's ridiculous right now.
Yeah, I think his chances have gotten better the past few games. He hit the post yesterday.
Yeah. It's post hard.
Yeah. Schwartz is one of those guys I think you have to, at least for a while more, I would just keep plugging him out there. 3 goals sucks though. He should have 20 right now.
He should. He should. And maybe he's the Patrick Berglund of this year and he scores 12 in March. Once he scores, he's going to light it up.
You hope so.
Everything is trending in the right direction, I feel, with him. I mean, apart from the goalpost, he shot the puck on a 2-on-1.
Right. He shot twice.
Right.
He had 2-2-on-1. Didn't he? He shot twice.
Yeah. In the what was the last home game where it was a 2-on-1 and he had a perfect angle to shoot. And he passed the Columbus game, wasn't it? He had the perfect angle to shoot, and he tried to make a pass, and it passed it right back into the slot into a defense.
Oh,
it was terrible.
That was Boston.
Boston.
Yeah, because Chara was the defender.
Yeah, terrible decision.
Yeah, and he could have went in, made a move, deked, and Chara gave him a lane to the goal.
Right.
And maybe in Schwartz's defense, Tarasenko was his winger, was the guy. So I can see the initial thought of, okay, got to try and get it Tarasenko. But if the pass ain't there, and if you've got a lane to the goal, you take the shot. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care if you're Chris Porter coming down with Tarasenko. If Tarasenko is covered and you've got a lane to the goal, you take the shot.
God bless Chris Porter.
I liked Chris Porter. Chris Porter I liked him.
He was more than serviceable.
He was.
I would argue.
He did. He scored goals against the Red Wings, so he was fine in my book.
Yeah. Red Wings and Blackhawks.
Yeah. He also says in the YouTube chat, and another narrative, should Sonny get more minutes than Schwartz? You know what?
Sonny getting any power play time is a bonus. And I want him right now. I want him out there on the power play. He's got the Midas touch. Everything he's doing is right.
Yeah, I want to take the opportunity to say it that I was like most people, I guess, dead wrong about him. I was
absolutely.
I didn't think I didn't see. I think I called him a warm body at one point. I was I didn't see anything special about him.
I think our season preview show, I said that he's worthless and shouldn't be here. Yeah. And he takes 5 minutes to turn a circle on the ice. He's figured it out. He's really taken advantage of the opportunity with the Blues not bringing back Kyle Brodziak. He has grabbed that fourth line center role, and he's really replaced everything that Brodziak did. Because if you remember last year, Brodziak was getting penalty or power play time when the Blues were shitting the bed in January. Sundqvist is doing that, and he's so effective this year. Keep giving him the ice time, giving him the opportunities.
Yeah.
Just don't give him the screen time because that gets old.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't know anybody who's not pleasantly surprised and happy with the way he's playing. I hope he keeps it up. I hope it's not like a flash in the pan kind of a thing.
Yeah, no.
A lot of players do this kind of thing, but they'll have a hot streak for a while and then cool off. But hopefully he has a niche here. Niche.
Yeah.
Niche. However you want to say it.
It's a Gerard Kraft restaurant.
Doesn't come out right with my congested head. Jeff says, I'm in the chat, but have some dire things going on with my gig. I'll be running tests on our site through the night. Unfortunate timing for our show.
No, it's okay, Jeff. We got this.
Yeah. Just get back to work.
Yeah.
But the adults are in the room.
At B Salvador 27. Is that the right Twitter handle?
I don't know. Is he on Twitter? I don't think he is.
I would like to make a report of unethical behavior on the part of one of your employees.
So here's with the Blues. Here's where they are. So 3 points out, like I said, with a game in hand, the wild card. And here's the deal, though. When they resume play, it'll be February, and February is kind of a bitch month. There's like 14 or 15 games, and 9 of them I would consider really tough games against good opponents. If they can get through February, because February is going to make or break their season. Yeah. If they can get through February, still hanging around, or maybe at the edge of the wild card, same kind of distance. March is much easier. They've got like three games or so that you could consider really tough games, and they have out of what is it? I didn't get the total, but yeah, last 20 games or so. March into April, the last 20 or so games, 19, 20 games, they have like 3 or 4 games that are tough. I mean, really tough games against top teams. That's it. So if they can get through February, I think the sailing should be easier. February's gonna be a bitch. Yeah. We played Nashville 3 times. I've got it up here.
This schedule. I mean, we don't play Chicago again, right? Played them 4 times in a month.
No, we play them. We do play them.
It's towards the end.
We play them the third to last game of the season.
Yeah.
In February, yeah, we've got right off the bat Columbus. They're playing well. Florida, Tampa Bay, Nashville, Jersey, Arizona, Colorado, Minnesota, Toronto, Dallas, Boston, Minnesota, Nashville. That's tough.
That is a bitch of a schedule. I mean, fuck Tampa Bay.
I know. And Boston and Nashville 3 times. And then in March, it's like all of a sudden the storms, the skies open up and the whatever. I'm trying to use like sailing analogies, and I don't have smooth sailing. Well, so in March, it's Carolina, Dallas, Anaheim, LA. 4 games you should be able to win. Dallas maybe ahead of us in standings. I don't care.
They are bad.
They are bad. I don't know how we lost to them once and beat them once within the last couple of weeks, was it? And we should have beat them both times. They were terrible.
Yeah.
San Jose, which that's a tougher game.
God, they're really good now.
Arizona, Ottawa, Pittsburgh. Okay, tough game. Buffalo, I don't consider that a tough game unless they turn it around. They're free falling.
Yeah, they are.
Edmonton, Detroit, Tampa Bay, obviously tough game. Vegas, tough game. And then in April, Colorado, Chicago, Philly, Vancouver. There's not a lot of tough games in March and April at all. There's a few. February's the bitch.
I think it'll be that this year, unless Colorado keeps in the same free fall mode that they've been in, those games in April, if the Blues can survive February and surprise us with a couple of points where we don't expect them, I think that April is going to be a very interesting month with us having to go up against Colorado.
Oh, April? Yeah.
Or is it late March?
Well, April, Colorado is the first game is in April we play is Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't play Colorado in March. Or in March. It's the first game in April. No, I mean the last 4 games.
Because I really feel like the Blues are like that's who the Blues are going to have to edge out to make the playoffs.
It'd be a nice revenge from last year. So speaking of where the Blues are on the standings, and so should the Blues be buyers or sellers, or kind of just treading water as far as like moves go? What do you think? Would you want to see them make a move to get better? I mean, granted, there's some time before the trade deadline, but
right.
A lot can happen.
if the trade deadline was the Monday after they come back from the All-Star break, they should be buyers. They should be looking to add a piece because they're trending in the right direction. But they're doing so well with what they have right now.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I think, are they a playoff team?
I think given the bed shitting going on throughout the Central Division, yes.
A lot of teams are making it easier for teams like the Blues to hang around. So, so your thoughts on this mindset? This was a tweet that was tweeted out by a Michelle Kairu Stan. I don't give a shit about the Blues making the playoffs. I give a shit about them building a contender. We need the draft pick more than an embarrassing first-round exit. Don't at me with the whole anything can happen BS. Here's
don't they need playoff gate receipts?
that's the thing, is that it's, if you're only going to want to make the playoffs if you have a legit shot at the cup, then what the fuck is anybody why even watch the games then? I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? Right. There's only a few teams in the league that have a legit shot. You can say, hey, they could win the cup this year. There's 4 or 5 teams, right? So really, yeah, a team that sneaks in can make a nice little run in the playoffs. Here's the thing with me. They need playoff revenue. The Blues do. They missed the playoffs last year. They need the revenue. It's not right. Getting in.
They missed the playoffs and then they spent to the cap.
Right.
They need the revenue.
Right. If you're going to spend to the cap, if this team in this market is going to keep spending to the cap, which they don't have to, but I think, you know, it's as fans, it's nice that they do that because you have your odds of putting a better team on the ice, I guess, improve somewhat. But I hate the mindset of, well, we're just going to lose in the first one anyway, so who gives a fuck? Who cares? I hate that mindset. I don't.
Terrible.
Because like I said, revenue, but 2, the playoffs are fucking fantastic. I don't care if you're in the first round and you lose in the first round, okay? But you know what? If it goes 4, 5, 6, 7 games, whatever, it's fucking exciting. It could be a fucking exciting 2 weeks of hockey for a 7-game series. It's
followed by crushing disappointment.
Yeah, well,
that's fans, we're used to that.
That's only one team doesn't have crushing. One team's fans doesn't have crushing disappointment at the end of the playoffs.
Right.
One team's fans. So I mean, if you don't want to make the playoffs because you don't want the crushing disappointment, then you can say it about every team except for one. Come on. I understand wanting to build for the future, but again, draft picks aren't a given. They're not guaranteed. They're going to pan out. 2, like I said before in the show, this team is not finishing last overall. They're not going to get the first, second, or third, fourth pick.
And even if they did, fucking Chicago would find a way to get Jack Hughes. Although I will bring up, since Jeff's not here to talk about this, we could get Kakko. What, the guy looked great.
Yeah, but he's
juniors.
He's gonna go like second or third, isn't he? I mean, he's gonna
second. No, there was talk during the World Juniors that he could force it to be a 1A 1B.
Oh,
and
well, last I read that it's getting tighter, but Hughes was still
right.
Yeah, but either way though, the Blues aren't going to get the first 2, 3, 4 picks anyway. Even if they miss the playoffs and they don't and they play poorly, they're not the worst team in the league. They're not the worst 2 or 3 teams in the league. They're just not. They're better than that. So I don't know. And it's not like, oh, okay, well, based on who I root for here in my basement, it's going to actually affect the team. So stop doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's ridiculous. I have a hard time rooting for the team to lose unless we got a few games in the season left and we do have a legit shot of the first overall pick. Then I might say, okay, let's lose this game because that's fine. But as long, I mean, where we're at now with the charts and stuff that we went over and the chances of making the playoffs. I know last year they had us making the playoffs too at one point and we missed it, but whatever.
Well, it came down to that last game.
Yeah.
And shot the bed.
Well, the game against Chicago is what killed us.
Yeah.
That game.
Yeah.
That goal.
Can't lose against a non-playoff team.
That
especially
way.
Your rival.
If we got that 1 point, that 1 point against Chicago, that was 4 seconds to go when Keith scored or something like that. That was awful. A terrible goal too. So advanced stats, how good are the Blues? These are it's interesting how that I think the people understand that the Blues are. I don't want to like have a total slob fest over the Blues as far as how they're playing, but really, I mean, I think people are kind of not they realize they're playing better, but I don't think that when they see it put in a graph form or chart form in the comparison to other teams, as far as how well they're doing. Expected goal rates, the Blues are they're second best in the Central. The 5 versus 5 shot share, which looks at which teams own the 5 versus 5 shot share and which ones chase the puck instead. The Blues are in the top half of the league with that one. They're 6th in expected goal rate differential versus goal for percentage. So, and they're, I think, 6th in expected goal rates for and against. And like I said before, the chart that shows from Corsica Hockey, 57.5% to make the playoffs.
Right.
So, they're better. They're better than you think.
Right. They're better than they feel.
Right. They're better than when I saw these charts. I'm like, man. And like I said before, I knew they were playing better, but if they can just get the timely, if they can just get the goal scoring under wraps, they can get Schwartz back on track. They can get Tarasenko, who's been scoring more lately. Get Schwartz, get Perron back healthy, get Thomas back healthy. You get Thomas and Perron back.
Right. And you know, that was the thing I think we kind of glazed over. Both teams last night, yesterday. No, I guess it was. Yeah. Last night. Yeah. Yep. Both teams had key injuries and the Blues played a lot better than the Ducks.
And
so,
yeah, I think I tweeted out that the last night the Ducks are terrible. And
they looked awful. That was
a Ducks fan said looks at the standings. And I'm like, yeah, just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Because the Ducks are free falling.
Scoreboard.
Yeah. Because that was a big game for them. Because if they had won, I think they would have jumped back into a wild card spot, I think. But they can't win a game to save their lives now.
Yeah. You can't expect that team with that many missing pieces to win consistently.
No. Skills competition is Friday night, and the All-Star game's on Saturday. O'Reilly is the lone Blues representative. You watching?
Well, I will be now that you've pointed out that skills competition is tomorrow night, because it's traditionally been skills comp on Saturday evening, All-Star game on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I otherwise would have gone home from work tomorrow and not tried to find anything on TV. Yeah. So, but I'll watch the skills comp. I doubt I watched the All-Star game.
Yeah, I'll have it on. I said this before, like last year. I like the tournament, the 3-on-3 tournament. I like it.
Yeah,
it's different.
I mean, it's a better concept, but it's still it's the All-Star game. Like,
it's background stuff.
I'm gonna try to get tickets next year when it's here in town, but that's about the only time I really give a fuck about it.
I think I'd like to go to get tickets to go to the game just to hang out at the arena.
Right.
and not necessarily sit down and watch the game. Yeah, I'll watch it. It'll be on the background at least. So, and also on Saturday we'll be announcing the winner of the contest that we're having, the giveaway for the Tarasenko Funko Pop figure and the T-shirt, the Retire 44 Let's Go Blues Radio T-shirt. So if you have not entered that contest, go on our Twitter account at LGB Radio, like, retweet, and then follow the show's account, and you'll retweet that particular tweet that we tweeted out about the contest. We got it pinned on our account, and you'll be entered, and we'll announce a random winner on Saturday during the game.
Real quick, do you have an opinion on the All-Star jerseys?
I hate them.
You hate them?
What do you think?
I like the concept going with using
the logos,
the actual team logos.
I like the concept too,
with the home team's color motifs.
Yeah,
I like the concept, but San Jose it seems like the Sharks color scheme is very, you love it or you hate it.
Is it even color?
It's
grayscale.
black. There's teal though. Teal's involved.
Let me pull them up again. Look, when I saw where it's all grayscale jerseys. Yeah, there's no teal in them. Is there? I don't see any teal.
Yeah, inside collar.
Inside collar.
It's a key detail in this NHL. Yeah, the rest of it, yeah, I do not like that it's strictly grayscale, but at the same time, you're not going to force other teams. You're not going to force the iconic Montreal Canadiens or Detroit Red Wings or Chicago Blackhawks logo into a teal motif. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not a. So what do they do? I guess I just haven't paid much attention to the jersey. They got the black and they got the white ones. Are they switching jerseys then? Because is it always black against white then?
They'd have to be.
Because they don't have like one team black, one team white, one team gray, one team.
Right. Because you got the 4 divisions.
One team 20% gray, one team 40% gray. Yeah. So I dig the idea of putting the logos on the jerseys. I don't dig the grayscale. I don't like that at all. For every team, I don't. That's not my thing. A splash of color would be nice.
Yeah, color is always good, especially for a product that's going to go on TV.
Yeah, right. I know. Seems like watching the game back in my bedroom when I was a kid. A little small
black and white
4-inch portable Bentley TV, black and white with antenna.
I at least had a 13-inch TV. You had a 4.
I had a 13-inch TV, but before that, I had a small little portable one that I could carry around with me, which was kind of cool at the time. To carry a TV around? Come on. Back in, what was it, probably like 88, 89, I had that little thing. To carry a TV around with you, that's a big deal.
I watched the Mark McGuire 60th home run on a handheld TV.
Wow.
And yeah, it was black and white.
It's high tech though.
Oh, it was completely high tech. No idea how I came across that, but
all right. I don't have maybe next show Wednesday the 30th. I mean, there's nothing there's no games between now and then.
I don't know. I think next week might be a bye week.
Maybe. Unless something big happens.
Yeah. Armstrong joins the Oilers.
Yeah. And we get Mark Hunter, GM.
Mark Hunter, number 20 in your program and number 20 in your heart. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see, any tweets we didn't get to? Any tweets? No more.
We're going to wrap this up in an hour and a half.
We are. Not even. Hour and like 10 minutes.
Hour and 10.
Yeah.
That's beauty. God, thank God Jeff's not here.
He's the anchor.
We love you, Jeff.
I guess that'll do. I could open the show up for some listeners, but I think we want to get going.
Yeah. You still got to help your daughter with her homework.
I do. So
the new math.
Yeah, new math. Yeah. Well, it's tough for kids. It's tough for me.
You were struggling pretty mightily.
I had it down. You know what's hard is trying to you know how to do something in your head and trying to explain it to a child how to do that. It's like
impossible.
It's like you ever try and explain baseball, which you've been watching baseball your whole life, and you think it's the simplest thing in the world. But when you actually try and explain like each play and what's happening, what's going on, and why things happen the way they do, and what players have to do in certain situations, you're like, this is a bitch to explain to somebody.
Yeah.
It's like me trying to understand cricket now.
Yeah. We actually, interesting analogy there. A couple years ago, Julie's cousin from England came over, and we took him to a Cardinals game.
Yeah.
And we're like trying to explain why we think this is fun.
Yeah. And people say, "Oh yeah, you like cricket? It's not like baseball." No, the hell it is. No, the only similarity is that you swing a stick at a ball, and guys try and catch it. That's it.
There are no bowlers out there though.
You don't run the bases. You go back and forth. I think between those things, but it's way different.
No, it was that the challenge of trying to explain baseball to a foreigner is very interesting.
And it's probably the same as explaining it to a child or anybody who doesn't never seen it before. It's because okay, well, if the ball is hit between these two areas on the ground, it's okay, but then the guy can catch it here. It's out. It's not there. It doesn't matter. It goes in the stands.
In the air.
Yeah, if he
goes to jail.
If it hits the pole, it's fair.
Right.
But if it doesn't, if it hits the foul pole, it's fair. And
baseball is such a nuanced game.
And if you throw it to this bag before he gets there, he's out. But he has to be on the bag. There's a force out versus a tag out. There's all kinds of weird. It's just hard.
Baseball's a nuanced game that is very boring.
Or like trying to explain live TV when you mess with a DVR to a child. That's hard. First time I tried to do it, I'm like, it's hard to explain. Because it's funny because if I'm watching live TV and when a kid who grows up on like Netflix or whatever, and they're watching live TV and she's like, fast forward, Dad, fast forward. No, this is live TV. You can't fast forward. What do you mean you can't fast forward? It's happening right now. You can't fast forward. I don't know how else to explain it to you.
There might be a 2-second delay, but we can't manipulate that. Sorry.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. For the MIA Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Curt Price. That will conclude this week's broadcast of Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues. Enjoy that hope while it's here.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available. I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to #1. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win.